We want to say black power to all the families out there that love being black, that love black power. I am honored here today, Brother Sarnetta at the House of Consciousness, to have two brothers sitting here with us.
Three brothers.
First I'm saying two brothers that's representing the Moorish nation. We got Brother Sabir Bey, and we got Supreme Intelligence. Brooklyn, Moorish Supreme Intelligence?
Moorish Brooklyn.
Moorish Brooklyn Intelligence. And of course, we have the Honorable Dr. Seti sitting on the scene.
Peace.
We have not come here to tiptoe through the tulips. We are not here to pussyfoot, to buck dance, or to tap dance. We are here to answer all the questions that you, the viewers outside, been asking. Before I go into it, I want to read what this brother has texted me. His name is King Heru, and he was on my website, on my YouTube site, and he says, I think we have gone with this as far as possible. Everything else would just be redundant and beating a dead horse. It's time to let the people decide for themselves based on the information given from both parties. The people have heard both sides. And now we must do the research and come up with our own conclusion. Our divine spirits and consciousness will give us the answer of what is the truth. Sarnetta, thanks for a great job with this issue. But it's now time to let the people decide and choose what is right. So here we are. We got Brother Seti that's here to stand on the shoulders of the ancestors in defense of what he's been bringing forth. And we got the Brother Sabir to try to dispute.
Oh, don't say try, and don't say I'm standing on the ancestors.
Okay,
also.
okay, well,
so
all right, well, he's going, Brother Seti, Brother Sabir is standing on the shoulders of his Moorish ancestors.
All my ancestors, brother. Don't just say my if you're talking about
brother, let me finish introducing the tape, and then you can address that.
Don't do that because it ain't going down that way. If you're going to say he's standing on the shoulders of ancestors, I'm doing the exact same thing. So
I don't know. I don't know.
So you should know it.
We're going to see. Okay. But right now, look forward to it.
All right.
Peace, Hotep, and Black Power. Moorish Brooklyn Intelligence. Peace. Tell us a little bit about yourself, my brother.
Peace.
And why do you think it's important to be here today?
Alright, peace.
Peace.
Shalom. Kalani. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Islam. Paz. All ancient words of peace.
Black power.
So
that's my greeting.
I have no doubt that's your greeting.
Black power.
Alright, so peace to all melanated people on the planet, all Asiatics. Today, I'm just here with my brother, Sarah, Sut, and Seti, because for what I've seen from my personal experience, like I said, I'm not here representing the Moorish Science Temple or none of that. Me as a brother who did a research and watched all of his videos and listened to all his videos, I'm here to help this brother clean up some of the mess that he has encountered or was not properly explained to him. So this is a great meeting between Sabir, me, and Brother Sarah, Sut, and Seti, so that the people could understand where each side is coming from, what's the problem that each people have, and that we could leave with a proper, good, solution and understanding today.
Okay, that's peace. Brother Sabir.
First and foremost, I want to give honor and respect to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Today is actually his birthday today. And I just and I want to put that out. And also, it's the day that my mother transcended a year ago. The same day, today, actually. And like I said, I don't belong to no Moorish Science Temple neither. You know what I mean? No particular temple I belong to. I'm like Moorish Brooklyn. We do our own independent research and study. All right? And I want to say, first of all, shake my brother's hand. Sorry I said it because I spoke with that brother quite a few times, and we had an in-depth conversation and talked about his how important he is for us in this movement. And we just, like he said, we here to clear up a lot of misconceptions about the Moors and who are the Moors. And it's going to be good. That's all I want to say.
Okay. Brother Sarah, Sut, and Seti.
Hotep family.
Hotep.
I want to give praise to all the ancestors who gave their lives to fight for this struggle that we in today. Is not over. It's still a struggle. The revolution has never ever stopped. You know, we may have stopped fighting, but the revolution is still going on today. I got brought into the culture, you know, through my elder uncles and whatnot back in Detroit. One of my uncles, Pianki Menkepa Ra, was raised up in the craft of Amun Ra by Dr. Yosef Ben Yakanan in the Nile Valley. So I've been, you know, educated in the Nile from a youngin'. This is not something that I'm new to. And I have now 20 years of research and studies up under my belt. And I've had 3 pilgrimages to the Nile with the master teacher, Asra Kwesi. You understand what I'm saying? So when I say these things that I say, I'm not saying it because I read a couple of books. It's not that. Believe me. What I'm saying is what I know, or what I was taught by my elders. So I don't want anybody to think that this is just a casual typo that I might have misread in a book. It's not. So I want the brothers and sisters that see this conversation to take what I'm gonna give them very, very serious.
Okay, that's peace, brother. You have any questions? Okay, let's start this interview then. The first question I have is for you, Brother Seti.
Yes, sir.
What have inspired you to come out in defense of the ancestors to speak against the Moors?
Well, again, my brother, like I say, I've been trained to be a soldier. I have not been trained to be anything else but a soldier. And my elders made sure that I knew who my enemy was. And when I went to Kemet, man, you know, when I first went, I didn't really know what I was gonna see. You know, I had only the things what was told me. But when I got there and I seen all of the destruction that happened to our sacred temples and our holy land, and I seen the enemy still upon my land. You understand what I'm saying? I took my oath at the Grand Lodge of Waset. I stood in front of my brothers and sisters, and I stood at that temple where all priests were raised up in the Nile Valley. And I took my oath when I came back here that I would give my life to resurrect my people. And I heard things that came up out of the Moors' mouth, certain Moors. If they want to distinguish themselves, that's all right. But I mean, I don't have time to distinguish. I'm on the battlefield. But I heard certain things that came up out of their mouth that I know for a fact is incorrect. And one of the things that I really have a very serious problem with is the fact that they teach that the slave trade is overcounted, that it did not happen the way we said that it happened, that we're just lying, that when we see these slave forts in Africa, and when we talk to our brothers and sisters on the other side of the ocean, that give us the information, and ain't come out of no cracker book. This comes down through the elders' teachings. How many left? All of the madness that went, how many died before they could get them on the ships? How many died on the ocean? The fact that certain Moors, and I don't want to condemn all, but I don't want to get in the habit of trying to apologize neither. Because if these certain Moors felt that what the other Moors was teaching was incorrect, they should get on them. Don't try to correct me when I get on them.
That's right.
You should have did it before I did it, but they didn't do it. You understand what I'm saying? Is that we all just lying. We're just recreating this. And if we don't show our babies how they got in this situation, they will never know how to get out. And that's why I'm so adamant about making sure that I clarify my stance, that our slave trade went over 100 million. We're just counting at 100 million. You understand what I'm saying? The brother that just got shot down in Oakland, that's the continuation of this Holocaust. How many brothers dropping dead, murdered in New York? How many brothers are on a yearly basis? How many young brothers dropping dead in Detroit every year on the day? Philly. It's a damn Holocaust, man. So we don't want to, you understand what I'm saying? We don't want to lighten up on our Holocaust like a lot of these brothers is doing. We want to tighten up and make sure that the numbers is correct, that our babies know exactly what happened to them, and that falsehoods about how we got here is not taught as if it's the truth, which it is not.
Okay, brother, that's peace, man. Brother Brooklyn Intelligence.
Yes, sir.
I would like for you to respond on that, brother. How do you feel about the slave trade? Do you agree that it was over 100 million, or do you bring down the numbers as well?
It's not about bringing down the numbers. The numbers we know was large. It was crazy numbers. As a matter of fact, we can't even know exactly what the numbers is. We could just, we just have to round it off. However, we have a good number because we know they treated us like commodity and property, so they had to take a note of everything.
So what is your understanding of the slave trade and how it went down?
My understanding of the slave trade is that we have been taught in their institutional school system only one side, and that's when we was enslaved or in bondage. What I get across to people is that yes, slavery did happen, if you want to call it that. The Moors call it we being prisoners of war. But slavery did happen in a sense, but the whole big picture is that the first slaves were Europeans. That's where the word slavery comes from. So if you really research, the first slaves anywhere, and even in North America, was pale slaves. Not only that, the first slaves through the Middle Passage, the Atlantic Triangle, or even the Atlantic waterways were European. Then we became mixed with them, and then we, at the end, became the commodity for slavery. And what they did was they put our face on the whole entire thing. So me, as an individual Moor, yes, slavery did happen, but we have to probably understand what happened throughout the whole thing, which means it was the whole Pale Nation, it was the Arabs, and even some of our own ancestors that participated in the slave trade for political and financial reasons.
Were they Moors' participation?
Yes, brother, because we who are navigating as Moors, because everybody sitting right here is a Moor. The brother may not subscribe to that title, but everybody that's melanated is a Moor. So yes, our ancestors, aka black people, aka colored people, aka melanated people, aka Asiatics, did participate in the slave trade. We can't deny that.
Okay. Brother Sabir, do you want to respond to that, or?
Well, I have to agree 100% with Moorish Brooklyn, because for me, I've never heard of Moor. Like I keep saying, a lot of these things that people are saying that slavery did not exist. I talked to Seti, it was a couple of weeks ago, Seti, we had this conversation about, your vending piece when you said the Moors came up and said slavery never existed.
Indeed.
And I disagreed, didn't I? Didn't I say I disagreed with that? The conversation is that slavery never existed. The way they saying slavery happened didn't happen exactly the way they said it, like Moorish Brooklyn just said. All this history of the story is not being told in school, because again, who's teaching our children? This argument can go on and on. So we're going to continue on having our children in their school system, regardless whether we sit here and fight about what color we are or not. But the facts of the matter is that, like Brooklyn said, if you look up the word, rather somebody went to look in a Webster's dictionary, slave was the Europeans. It was the Indo-Europeans and Scandinavians. We were prisoners of war, and this is what Moors are calling it. It's prisoners of war. Wherever you stood, you became that slave, so-called slave. But slavery happened, but not the way they said it happened.
Okay, like be more specific. Not the way they said it happened. Which way you talking about they said it happened?
The way we're talking about slavery, the way it happened, and yes, there was, quote unquote, when we say Moors, that was involved in it also. Moors were involved in it also, because like you said, there's so-called blacks, African Americans, whatever we want to call ourselves, we were all Moors, regardless. There's documented records how Moors enslaved each other. Anybody who saw Seti's DVDs, how it was our people, you can call them Africans, you can call them blacks, whatever, was involved in it. Don't get it twisted because they had feathers on their heads, because before 1930s, everybody wore fez in different countries, no matter what country you were in. But the way slavery happened, it wasn't that they took everybody from Africa. Some slaves did come from Africa, from Goree Island, and a lot of us was right here in North America and in South America. So where they took you from South America up to North America, from North America down to South America. This is how the slave trade took place. And we have to understand geography and what countries mean. And this is when laws start coming into play. So when they start saying that they crossed the Macy-Dixie line, each state was a country amongst its own. All right? So, I mean, a lot of stuff need to be cleared up. Maybe we'll get into that.
You know what? I don't want to get into the wordplay. Slav, you know, if some crackers came over here, so damn what? I'm speaking for my people. You know, and what I'm catching is we get lost in the wordplay. If I say slave, I mean a man that's forced to work. That's what I mean. I don't want to get into historical. I know Slav. I could do that. I know enough to wordplay. Don't want to wordplay. It's enough controlled genocides, such as the one in the Congo with Leopold. Even Mark Twain wrote a book on it. And he documented that they lost 30 million in the Congo between the 40 years that man was dead. 40 million. That's one nation in 40 years. So, I mean, that's a control. Now, if you think of all the other nations that's in Africa, and that the cracker is the one that was in Morocco and Egypt, he's the same cracker. How many did they kill? How many did they actually kill, my brother? Sometimes it becomes irrelevant to try to fight an issue because it's so evident.
Like I said, I agree with you, but if you fast forward it up today and understanding that it's not about playing with words. If you understand, and you and I, if you have any children, you have children right now?
Indeed.
Now, what school system they go to?
We had that. They go to the public school system.
Okay, now, when your child comes home, what do you tell your child to look up any definition at? Now, we're using 21st century or 20th century, whichever way you want to do it. When you and your child, right now, in their school system, when they tell your child to go home and look up something, what do you tell them they're going to tell them to look it up at?
Sabir. Wait a minute, you tried that, you didn't have that before. Didn't I tell you, man, I've been raised in craft.
I agree with you.
I don't go tell my babies, I give them I define words.
What I'm saying to you is that...
So I don't tell my baby to go to Noah Webster's fictionary. Okay. Noah Webster was a racist, he was a slave trader, like his daddy before him.
Okay, we understand that, but we still have our children in their school system. The thing is that what I'm sharing with you, you have a mayor in Detroit. You talk about all these brothers in these positions. You have a mayor, you're getting ready to have a so-called black president in a position that is not on none of these brothers' sides. And he's not for reparations. He's not for, what else is this going on? About the killing right in his hometown of Chicago. So you tell me what is the difference between what happened then and what's going on now, right now.
I just told you, ain't nothing changed.
Okay, so
still
what
a
I'm saying,
Holocaust.
though, it's still a Holocaust. So we're on the same page, what I'm saying, though. We're not disagreeing with each other. We're on the same page. I agree with you. So, but they look like who? All of us in this room.
Where did you originate from? Where did your peoples originate?
Where
did the Moors originate from?
My grandmother and my great-grandmother and my great-great-grandmother was born right here.
Keep going back.
We ain't going that far back because I wasn't around.
No, I want you to go back.
But we ain't going that far back because I just told you I wasn't around.
Why are you scared to deal with Africa, brother?
I'm never scared, brother. Hold up, brother, hold up. If I can read some things to you to show you that the Moors are Africans.
How old is the Moorish flag?
The Moorish flag is over 10,000 years old.
But you would go and tell me it's 10,000 years, but when I ask you how far...
Hold up. I said here, on this land. If you're talking about the Moors history of the Moors and independent, that you're talking about Morocco today, that's new. They got the independence in 1950. We're not talking about these pale-faced Europeans that's in Morocco today. We're not talking about them. We're going back into the name which was called, the land was called the Amazic, and the people was called the Imazin. If you want to go that far back. If you want to go that far back, we can talk about where civilization started at.
It started where?
North Africa.
It started in North Africa.
North Africa.
That's incorrect, man.
Oh, it's incorrect?
That's falsehood, man. That's falsehood beyond.
You prove to me.
Man, I can show you. I'm going to blow up on you, man. I think that right there is an atomic bomb. What you going to bring?
Go ahead. Now,
you understand what I'm saying?
Go?
I mean, anybody that go to the... Can you show me some more ancient that was built by the Moors greater than the pyramid?
I'm going to read something.
I don't want you to read because...
Brother, you can read something too. Don't even go there. You getting ready to read something.
You know what? I don't even need these books no more.
Okay.
I don't even need it. I'm going to go straight from the top.
Okay. Let me add on.
Go ahead.
Let me add on something.
All right, yeah. Time out. Let's get it order. Go ahead, brother.
Let me add on real quick.
Add on.
Now, once again, like, brother, what we're trying to show you, or what I'm trying to show you, like I said, I don't know about these Moors that they're dealing with.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't separate a light-skinned brother with a dark-skinned brother or a certain title with another modern title. Like, I'm not here to separate colored or black or Negro and Moor or Asiatic and Moor, African and Moor. We're all the same people. However, me as an individual who have done research, the oldest name that we have taken for ourselves was Moor. So, dealing with my family's from Jamaica.
But let me ask you a question before you go on.
Or the island of Essamaka, or Essamaica. The Caribs, the Siboney, the Arawaks, in their oral and written documentation, they said that they're from North, Central, and South America. And from there, they've always been there. They're not detaching themselves from our cousins, nephews, aunts, uncles, whatever we want to call them in Africa or in Asia or in Australia, and nobody's talking about Antarctica. So we go back millions and billions of years. But what happens that the Moors in the Caribbean was called West Indian, which means Western dark people. They was also called Maroons. So the thing that the brother Noble Drew Ali brought forth was that the Moors are from northwestern and southwestern Africa. He means North America, Central and South America, and also Africa. We have to take it back to when the Atlantic Ocean wasn't called the Atlantic Ocean.
There you go.
It was called the Ethiopian Ocean.
Exactly.
So when you read in the Moorish 101 and Moorish 102, Ethiopian means to divide.
That's what it means.
Divide what though? It's dividing the continents and the hemisphere. He wasn't talking about a pigmentation.
But you understand, optical meaning face. Ethiopia means burnt face. It does have nothing to do with meaning to divide.
That's right.
Understand that. But
listen, but if you understand that, don't teach no damn falsehood to me, man.
That's not
come straight up.
Hold on, Sabir.
He asked me a question. No problem. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not talking about. The brother was not talking about skin. He was not talking about pigmentation.
Yo, Moorish Brooklyn, check it out more.
Right.
Let's keep this shit real.
Okay.
When he said, what does Ethiopia mean?
Okay.
He said Ethiopia means
something
to divide.
What did I just say?
He didn't say something.
Seti, hold up,
brother, let me finish.
I got to interject too.
Brother, you gonna listen, man. So this is what I'm saying.
Right.
In the Moorish Lessons 101, he asked the question, what does Ethiopia means?
Okay.
The answer was, Ethiopia means something divided. That is incorrect. That's not what it means, brother.
Can I answer your question now?
Now answer the question.
Let me address that. Once again, because we're going to go back talking around in circle. When the brother put it there, he was not talking about a skin color or pigmentation. The people in Ethiopia didn't call themselves Ethiopia. Ethiopian region, that latitude and longitude of square jurisdiction was called Abyssinia.
And the people called Habasha.
So once again, he was not talking about a people or a description. Didn't he say something means divided? Didn't I just give you the key to that jewel? If the Atlantic Ocean was called Ethiopian Ocean, what is being divided? You can find old ancient maps where northern part of Africa... Let me just finish this. You can find old maps where the northern part of that continent was called Africa, and the bottom part was called Ethiopia. Isn't there a division there within that continent?
It's a division in Ethiopia.
You just have to pay attention to what the brother's trying to say.
That's right. Yeah, that's word semantics there.
We rap, man. What I'm saying is,
it's not wordplay.
When you break the word down, I don't care how you define.
What language are you speaking, Seti?
Optical. Ethiopia means burnt face. Now, what you flip it to mean is on you.
Hold on.
Come on now.
So you telling me, hold up, bro, I have friends and I can get on the phone with a person from Eritrea and in Ethiopia, they'll say it's called the Habasha or Abyssinia. So what we're saying is that if he's talking about Ethiopia, brother, we're not playing with word games. You're using a European English language right now to this day. So you tell me, what language are you speaking?
And isn't that
see what the thing is? What I see, what we doing again? We getting into wordplay and we leaving the real issue of why our peoples is in this situation.
That's right.
And if you listen what's going on right now, this is why. Because when we gather, we can spend more time trying to jump through the loops with these words. And when these young babies out here can't eat, they don't give a damn what it means. You understand what I'm saying? So when the young cats look at that, that's why I come hard like I do, and I say the things that I say, because too many people out here are word playing, flipping the script. We in hip hop. We change the word every day. We know how we do with words. We change these words every day. But breaking it down to the etymological meaning of the word Ethiopia means burnt face. And I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there.
My question is, did the Ethiopians call themselves Ethiopians? Why would dark people that's been here before Europeans call themselves burnt face?
Well, they officially, listen, you go ask the Ethiopian, but they officially put the title on their land.
Why do they
you go discuss it with them.
I do.
But I'm not want to deal with that, but I'm just dealing with it.
Okay.
The man said that it meant something divided.
Okay.
I say that it don't. Okay. I give you the reason why. I don't want to go into that.
Okay.
All right, now we're going to move on.
I'm
going to get right to the trace now. I'm going to cut right through it now. Here we go. This question is for you, Brother Sabir. You made a statement on the DVD, because I was going through the DVD last night just to see what I would bring forth to ask you a question. And the statement that you made was, you said, if you are claiming to be a descendant of Africa, you are not a sovereign. You cannot be a sovereign if you are a descendant of Africa.
Okay.
What do you mean by that, brother?
Now, for anybody who studied the Dred Scott case, and it's not hard to go research it, this is what it states in the Supreme Court case. It said anyone, those Africans that was imported from Africa were not citizens. And you claim no sovereignty. This is when laws start coming into play. When you start studying law, and I would advise everybody to get a law dictionary, because this is what they use on us 24/7. Law cover all events. Regardless whether we want to say it's the Europeans, is this, is that, we're using it, we're going into their court system. Sovereignty does not apply to descendant of Africans.
Who says so?
Brother.
No, I'm asking you.
I'm going to explain to you. I'm going into it, brother.
Are you saying the white man is the only one that can give you sovereignty? Because we had sovereignty before the white man brought his ass into Africa.
That's very true, brother. Okay. But don't cut me when I'm trying to explain. All right? I said that's why I can't even tell you unless you have or sit there with a law dictionary. Law cover all events, rather you saying it's coming from this European or not. Start researching what sovereignty is. This is what it says in the Supreme Court case, that the descendant of African that was imported into this country and sold as slaves could not be citizens in the Constitution. So you have to study the Dred Scott case and understand and study what sovereign people mean. Law does not apply to them. They don't have a nation nor a national flag.
Whose law are you talking about?
Where are you at right now?
No, I'm asking. No, you are basing your life around this white man, this cracker law, brother.
Where are you?
What about our law?
I said it's on and off the tape. If you don't abide by it, since you don't want to acknowledge it, brother, you go outside with no tags on your car, no registration.
See, words semantics again.
It ain't about this, brother. Hold up, Sarnetta. If you're talking about this, brother, if you're talking about dealing with a person's their laws, then you deal with them. Say the hell with it. It's your laws. I don't have to abide by your laws. All right, so don't go there with me on that, brother.
But what I'm saying is, let's not take it nowhere else. What I'm saying is this.
You brought that up, and I'm going to bring it to you.
What I'm saying is this. You said if you call yourself a descendant of Africa,
brother, I'm sharing with you.
You can't be a sovereign, and I want to know
with you where does sovereignty come from?
It comes. You are born with your sovereignty.
Okay, your birthright.
No, you are born.
Do you know anything about law?
Brother, listen.
Do you know anything about law, Seti?
You're playing word semantics. Let's stay on the issue.
Word semantics. And honestly, that's why I purposely didn't bring a law dictionary, because I don't want y'all to keep saying, well, this is the white man's, this is the white man's that, but yet you abide by it when you walk into DMV or any of these other places. All right, so I didn't want to bring that. So what I want the listening audience to do is look up sovereignty and look up sovereign people.
I want you to read it.
That's all that is. Sovereignty is the supreme law-making authority. Okay, I agree with this, brother.
I want you to read that.
From?
I just want you to read it.
I know what it said. No, I'm not going to read it because I know
Pass
what it
it
said.
to the brother Brooklyn Moore. I want the people to see it on this.
Well, you can get somebody else to read it because I know what it says.
Okay.
And tell me where you got that from.
Brother Moorish Brooklyn. Can you read that out loud?
Where did you get it from?
Brother, I got it from your dictionary. Webster.
Okay.
You always say go to Webster, so I'm showing you. I'm putting your man on you right now.
That's all right.
I'm telling you what Webster say sovereignty is.
You can't put him on.
So what does sovereignty is, brother? Can you read that for me?
Sovereign is the supreme law-making authority, supremacy of authority or rule as exercised by sovereign or sovereign state, royal rank, authority or power, complete independence and self-government, a territory exercising as independent state. However, before you ask, we need to properly understand what's a sovereign,
thank you,
what they mean by supremacy,
explain
what is a royal rank, what is authority, what is power, what it means for independence.
Brother, I'm quite sure we all know what that is.
No, you don't.
What that means, brother.
No, you don't.
Before you go.
Don't go.
The thing is that when you read a word in a dictionary, and I'm going to also clear up language. When you read a word in a dictionary, it doesn't mean the same thing in law.
It doesn't.
You may call yourself a person, but in law, you have to call yourself a natural person. Because a person is Walmart,
corporation,
Kmart, corporation, City. Listen. Let me clear it up.
Oh my gosh, man, come on,
you're laughing already, but let me clear it up. It's a Walmart, Citibank, Pathmark. Why? Because they're all in capital letters. When you get a statement from your credit card company or from a jury, look on your driver's license. Isn't it all capital letters? So we need to understand a word in a dictionary doesn't mean the same thing as in law. And I'm going to end with this. We are giving the so-called white man too much damn credit.
We giving them too much
Why are we giving credit for words? If we talk about we gods and goddesses, and we had everything while they was in caves, who taught them how to speak? English is not their language. That is our variation of Latin, Spanish, Arabic, Aramaic, Sanskrit, Indo-European. All that is us.
To answer your question, brother, hopefully I won't get cut off. We are not giving them the credit. It is you who are giving this white man all the credit. You keep saying, go, let me finish, brother, before I get cut off. Sovereignty now. Because you claim to be a descendant of Africa, you can't get your sovereignty? Who determines your right to get sovereignty? The so-called white man? They came into Africa, kicked our ass, and took our sovereignty with the help of the Moors.
So, let me
the help of our own people?
With the help of the Moors.
Same people, brother. Can I read something before?
And to add on to that, yeah, you're going to read it. To add on to that, the reason I don't call myself a Moor is because the white man gave you that term. He hit you in the head with Moor.
Before you read that.
We didn't call ourselves Moor. We didn't call ourselves Moroccans. So why do you still, in the Moorish lessons, it still say the Moroccans?
You don't know what the Moroccans
Brother, we are not Morocco.
To address that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you were born free and sovereign, but it got taken away from
And who took it?
What happened?
Who took it away?
Our ignorance of our own people.
And how can we get it back?
By you proclaiming.
No, by force.
Let me
do it then.
By force.
Do it then. When you want to do it?
Let me
step outside right now and do it?
Let me finish the answer that.
Step outside, let's do it right now.
Go back. Let me finish the answer that.
Go ahead.
What makes up a nationality and sovereignty? There's something in law called jus soli and jus sanguinis. That means the right of blood and the right of soil. However, you need to know what is the ancient name for that soil. Like New York is not New York, it's New Amsterdam. That continent called Africa is not Africa, it's Akibulan or South Asia.
Or Africa.
But that's modern.
No, sir. The word Africa? That's written on the tombs of the Temple of Luxor. Africa.
A-F-R-I-C-A?
You spelled it with a K.
I got a spelling right here.
But that's talking about the body of man, the light of man, and the darkness of where man come from. That's a description. But what did we call it? Are they talking about?
Well, we had many names, brother. There was many names. It wasn't just one name.
However, in law, you have to be specific. So calling yourself an African descent, that's not Pacific or Asian.
Can I read this?
Let me go on over to Brother Seti, and then I'll come on over to you.
That's going to blend into what you just was talking about.
All right, you're going to get back to it, brother.
Again, man, what I see again is we word playing. That's what it seemed to be to me. Let me be up front. I don't give a damn about the white man at all. His law, his physical being. When I went to Kemet and I seen the cracker carving on my tombs and my temples, got my ancestors out physically on display, You understand what I'm saying? I have no respect for a man like his law. If we use the white man law to try to get out of what we in, we'll never get out of it. We'll never get out. Ain't no way possible, man. There's no way possible. The white man been in power for not 3,000 years. Since the fall of Kemet, he's been in control of this planet Earth. And he's been doing it because he has a system. He has a system that's in place. And you mean to tell me we gonna come up out of this system following the man's rules and regulations that he set out here for us? I can't believe that's what y'all telling me, man.
Brother, can I ask you a question?
Ask me any question you want to ask.
How did you get here?
I got here through my mother, my queen.
No, how did you get here just now to New York?
I got here through my woman, my queen.
So now you're lying on the camera saying that you got here.
No, don't call me a liar.
But I asked you how.
You don't got. I mean, you asking me how I got here, man. Listen here, man. I'm at war.
To New York.
See that's
irrelevant, though.
But I'm asking you what saying.
You know how we got here. We got in the car and we drove up here.
A plane, right? The reason why I'm bringing it back because he caught a plane here. If you're not respecting this man, whatever. This is what I'm saying. Don't say one thing and you're not respecting him. But if this man says, "Show me your ID to get on this plane," you're going to show this man's identification to get on a damn plane. So if you don't respect the man, if I don't respect, because I'm sitting here, I respect you. But I don't have to sit with somebody I don't respect. So the wording again is if you don't respect somebody, you don't associate with that person, you find another means to do it. This is what I'm saying about respect-wise. So if you don't respect him, you don't respect anything that he brings in front of you.
Indeed. Understand that. You understand? Until we do what we want to do
it then. That's all
but I'm not going to promote the man's system. I'm not going to promote the man's system.
Respect it then.
Look, let me see if I can do this.
It is just talk.
Let me see if I can do this.
Turn that light on right there.
Let me go on there. Let me show you something.
Hold up, before you do this, can I read this? Because
go ahead, read what you're going to read.
I want to read this. J.A. Rogers, what he spoke about. What J.A. Rogers spoke about. He said, in the ancient names of the so-called black people was Nashu or Nubian, Ethiopians and Moors from ancient Egypt, Negroes or Negretta from West Africa. All of the above native African words, Negro is probably the oldest, as the Negrettos are the oldest known branch of the human race. Negro come from the river Niger. Niger found its way into the Latin since the people from that region were dark-skinned Niger or Nigra. And it comes back to being black. They're saying black now. This is the terms that they're going through. Negro, Negretta, Negrita means the people of the great river. Black in color and white alike are European words. J.A. Rogers.
Okay, that's J.A. Rogers. Okay, that's J.A. Rogers. J.A. Rogers ain't
respect him?
Listen, I respect some of the things that J.A. Rogers, but when we talking about the Nile Valley, let me wait a minute.
We can go there too.
Okay, we sure can. We gonna go there. You understand? Because we speak as if we know, and I know when you don't know because you have not been initiated in the craft. I know it for a fact, and you saying
I know the law,
and you speaking. I don't need to know the law. I ain't been in jail, but I know enough to stay out of the B system. I know enough to stay out the B system, and as long as I'm smart enough to stay out the B system, I don't need to know his law.
By what he said,
I know how to stay out the B system.
You abiding by what he said.
Listen here. No, wait a minute. I got to go and drop it while it's hot. I want you to take a look. These are some of the enemies of Africa. You understand what I'm saying? What you're looking at right here, these are some of the Indians. And these are some of the brothers that went down, the so-called Indian, the Pakistani, that went down to South Africa with the British, who still in South. This is Howard Carter. This is going to go through. I'm going to just let it go. You see that? That's some of them medieval Europeans.
Like Machiavelli.
Columbus with the fairs on his head. These is the Eastern Stars with the fairs on their head, stealing up out of Kemet.
He ain't saying that.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Hold on. You ain't wait. You gonna get your chance. I'm gonna show you this fairs. Wait a minute. Let it go through. Cause I didn't put it in order like I needed to. This Muhammad Ali, the most wicked Arab Turk that ever lived on the planet, responsible for killing 50, 60 million Africans when he took Egypt. Look at the red fairs on his head. I want you to look very clearly. When I go back to Egypt and I go back to Africa and I know that's my enemy and you got his hat on his head, you think I'm gonna stop to ask you, is you down with me? and I done already identified this man's uniform. You think I'm gonna stop, man? When this go down and we in Africa, I'm gonna advise you out of love. Take that hat off, boy, because I'm telling you, it's a mark of the beast. This is the crackers over there right now, the Arab, all throughout Africa. Even the Russians wear that fez. It come up out of that Turkish ram. Here go that Greco-Christian background over there, Roman, Russian. They all wearing that hat. So tell me, my man, how do I separate you from him in a war? And you ain't got no time to drop no law on me or explain nothing to me.
We're going to go into all that.
How you going to... Listen, on the battlefield, I'm going to be real, and out of love, I'm going to tell you this. On the battlefield, when I gave my oath in Africa, man, I got to lay you down. I'm not going to ask you.
Well,
you got this man's hat. This is Gordon. You got, look, you got this man's hat on. You got this man, I'm lost. Who made this up? Who made this? Did I make this up? Since I'm lost?
Let's explain
Listen, see the white man right there? See all the niggas back there with the fez is on? Look at him.
Let us explain it.
Look at him. Explain. Go ahead and explain. I would like to hear this.
All right, brother. Now, we can't...
Uh-oh, wait a minute. Let me pause right there. Let me pause there. Let me go back to that. Let me go back to that. I'm going to have to go back to that one because that one...
Go back.
All right.
That one going... Let me pause that one.
All right.
Let me pause. When you get a chance, you get back on that one side now.
Okay.
Now let me address that now. All right. The fez or el-faz, tarbush.
Ooh, that shit is deep right there, though.
This is an ancient headdress, right? The thing is that we wore many different headdresses. In English in modern time, we're calling it a fez. Any person that has a fez is either a Moor, a student of Moorish science, or a descendant of Moors. Just because you see this fez on a certain European head, what that shows you right there is that they have stolen your science,
again,
your custom, your heritage, and they're wearing this crown.
That's a good slight of conversation.
Hold on, let me finish.
Or it's just his head dress and you took it.
Let me finish.
What?
Let me finish now. Once again,
I gotta explain this.
Once again, the Europeans, based on your school of thought, in the nation of God's and earth, I like to use that one. The Europeans only been on this planet for over 6,000 years. This crown is older than 6,000 years, brother.
Can you show me where it's been worn? Just like I...
Okay, no problem.
Listen, if I can get on here and show you... Wait a minute. If I can show you all these photos of the cracker wearing.
Right.
Just come on in here and show me the ancient, just like when I went to Kemet. I got a lot of stuff from Kemet, and they do not wear that headdress.
Go to, type up and go Google, anybody in the audience to Google Easter Island. On Easter Island,
I say Kemet, man.
Brother, listen.
I'm going to the heart of this matter.
I got one question for you. Go ahead. What were we doing and where were we before Egypt?
We was in Nubia.
Okay. Now, that's in one Pacific longitude and latitude. Where else were we?
We moved from up out of the Nile Valley.
Okay.
We went into what you would call today Arabia.
Okay.
You understand? Up into the area of what you want to call Palestine.
Okay.
Because even at the time of Herodotus, who was a Greek, the father of Greek historian, he says that when he went into the area of Palestine, he says there is no doubt that the Colossians, which went all the way up into the Black Sea, was an Egyptian race. And he said that at that time, at 450 BC, there was no nation on this planet that could compare to Egypt. Now, I hear some Moors that even say that over here is the origin. Now, if this the origin over here, and then somebody going to tell me that a civilization existed in these lands, comparable to Egypt, I don't want to talk. I don't want no conversation. Just point me something as great over here as the pyramids of Giza.
Okay. Now let me
say
something.
Go on over, brother Sabir.
Okay, now 2 things I want to try to clear up. You're familiar with Ivan Van Sertima? You respect Ivan, right?
I respect him. I don't agree with everything he's saying, but I respect him.
You only agree with certain people that agree with you on the same
page. I don't agree with no man.
Brother, hold up.
That's not what he said, brother.
What I'm saying was
just like I respect him. I don't agree to everything everybody says.
He respect Dr. Ben. He would take it 100% of Dr. Ben.
I believe in Dr. Ben, but not everything, because he had to go back to recorrect himself.
Now, Ivan Van Sertima book he came before Columbus, said the pyramids in Mexico was over 10,000, older than the pyramids in Egypt. Ibn Sertima. You have pyramids right now that's in Mexico right now, standing, also in South America, all up and down South America and China also. The pyramids that was already in South America is mostly older than the pyramids in Egypt.
That's
well, I mean, brother. All I'm asking
let me. All right.
Hold up.
Okay, go ahead, man. That's nonsense.
Okay, that's your nonsense. You do the research on it. We here to build, right? We here to build. That's it. So
are they still standing?
Yes, they still standing.
What they look like? Is they rubble?
All pyramids was not in the.
They rubble, right? Grass.
Okay.
Mounds, mud mounds. I'm not talking about mud. I'm talking about stone.
Let me just one thing.
I'm not talking about mud.
Let me just one thing though. Right next door in Egypt, brother. If you follow the Nile.
I've been there 3 times though. I can visualize it very well.
For the audience. Okay. For the audience.
Okay.
For the audience, bro.
If you follow the Nile, it will break up into what? The White Nile and the Blue Nile.
The Blue Nile, indeed.
One arm will go into Ethiopia and one arm will go into Sudan, right?
It goes past you, Sudan.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
But it runs down there.
Yeah, okay.
Right now in Sudan, there's more pyramids in Sudan than there is in Egypt. Also in the Sudan, there's pyramids right now standing that's older than the pyramids in Egypt.
I'm not debating that.
But you're saying Egypt only.
The reason why I'm saying Egypt because right now I'm trying to deal with, like, if the people listening see Egypt, the thing that separates Egypt from any other nation is because of the physical evidence.
That's right.
What about the pyramids that's underneath the water near Japan?
There you go again, man.
Where you
going up under the water? You want to go in outer space?
Hold up, brother.
Listen, how can people? Wait a minute. How can people
focus on one area, brother? You keep trying to focus just on Egypt.
What about
just Africa, brother?
Japan?
We can't just be one-sided. Just tell these people.
You know what?
Not
that's chaos, man. You see, the thing is, you know what? If you create chaos, meaning you just spread it all, you just go here, go there.
Why don't you go
then you can fit right up in the mix.
See, my thing.
You can fit, but if I go 1, 2, 3, I'm in chronological order. I didn't say don't go there, but let's go in chronological order. What I'm saying is, when I say Kemet, I'm only saying it because of the physical evidence. Anybody that's listening can go on the internet, they can go straight to Giza, they can go straight to Saqqara, they can go straight to Abu Simbel, they can go straight there. But what you talking about, the pyramids, I've been to Mexico too. So I did the comparative study, so don't work it with me. Man, that stuff down there is so inferior. It is so because first and foremost, they never built with stone. You understand, when you get to the Pyramid of Giza, you got one stone, baby, that weigh 15 tons.
Brother, there's no pyramids in Central, South America, even North America that's not built with stone.
They got adobe. They got stucco. Oh my God. You know, you got stucco. You got mud up under it.
Brother, what about the Pyramid of the Sun and Moon? That's not made out of stone?
But look how it's laid out. The Africans laid that out. It's laid out like Giza. You don't want to deal with the astrological layout. The Africans, that was built off of Giza.
See, you're separating something and saying the Africans and Moors. The Moors are African. If I just read to you that the Moors are Africans.
Man, the Moors came in under Islam, man. Don't come in.
Islam.
Man, the Moors came under. Give me some text.
Bro.
You got any manuscript?
If I bring you
text. Don't bring me,
I can't bring you no text because you gonna say it's Europeans then. What text
you got ancient? Okay then, like I say, like what that right? Give me.
Don't bring European text. Bring the ancestors.
Brother, this is J.A. Rogers.
I don't want to use J.A. We gonna leave.
I'm saying, what text do you want me to bring them, brother?
You can use them text. What I'm saying is this. You see this? This is the papyrus of Ani.
Who drew that up?
No, don't worry about it. Ani.
Who drew it up?
The Ani. Papyrus of Ani.
Where did you get it from?
Turn that around. Let me see that.
Go ahead. He's going to filibuster.
No, I want that brother to break that down because he know law.
I said,
I would like for you, brother,
the sacred priest of the Nile Valley drew it up.
Who drew this up?
Because and you know why?
It looks like it came out of somebody else's book, though.
Well, yeah, but the original is still here.
It's still on the wall.
Still here.
But what I'm saying to you,
but do you know what that is, brother? Turn it around.
Oh well, you can. People can listen.
That's all I'm saying.
See, the thing is, you know why, brother? Being that I was initiated in the craft, I know the Nubians, and I know the brothers and sisters in the Nile that got ones that the cracker don't have. That's why I can laugh. See, they filibustering.
But brother
filibustering.
Can you tell me what that is right there?
Can you show me? Do you have a Moorish manuscript this manuscript is 1675 BCE. I don't want J.A. Rogers. I don't want Black Men's Law. I want you to show me a text.
Let me ask you a question.
Sabir,
how does this affect
I don't want you to jump around.
No, see, there you go.
How does this affect
That ain't the question that I'm asking. Can you show me a Moorish manuscript as ancient? You got to go get it, huh?
Brother, I'm
the dog ate your homework, huh?
I'm not Sinetta.
Dog ate your homework. Yeah, I know. The dog ate his homework.
Sinetta said the dog ate the tape.
Here it is.
That's Sinetta stuff.
Here it is.
I'm putting that out there.
Sinetta
said the dog ate the tape, so I'm gonna put that out there too. I don't play those games.
Let me address this.
That's Sinetta.
Let the brother address.
Let the brother Moorish intelligence do it.
Let me address before and then come back. All right, we could see. Okay, first of all, we have to understand that we've been on this planet for so long, right? There's been like climatic events. There's been catastrophic events. There's been continental shifts, right? We have to understand that our ancient empires, some fell underneath the water, and some is still right here on land. Some of the people migrated, and some people stayed where they were. So Egypt, we're not taking anything away from Egypt. That's one of our greatest satellite and peak and climax.
So how come you never talk about it
we
then?
do talk about it. I just read you
talk about it.
By not talking about ancient Kemet, it's taken away from
We
it.
talked about it, brother.
Have you read the Circle 7 Quran?
I never heard
Bro,
you,
I just
brother.
read to you.
Have you read the Circle 7
Come on,
Quran?
Whenever you do a lecture,
hold up. Have you ever read the Circle? Yeah,
how come when I talk, you talk, brother? Just let me get my point. I'm gonna let you answer it. I never heard no Moorish brother get up there and give a lecture on ancient Kemet.
All right.
Never heard it.
Okay.
You might have said a word about it, but you continue on in the lecture. You might say ancient Kemet one time out your mouth. That's not giving a lecture on it. That's not teaching on it.
But what's the point of talking about it 24/7?
Because that's the root. That's the origin.
So if you're not willing to go fight for it or go take it back, why we have to continue on? We got problems right here today. Right here in the United States. Why?
Because the same man that wearing that fez that's right over there in Egypt is sucking my people's mineral wealth, then funding his people overseas. No, that's a cracker. But I'm talking about the Arab. I'm talking about the Arab too. That's the Shriner. The Arab Turk was wearing it before the Shriner.
So you telling me all these guys are?
Man, listen, I don't want they all peckerwoods one way or another, but the Arab, that wearing that hat is in Africa, sucking all of the mineral wealth. And what I'm saying is, family, that the mineral wealth that's coming out of Africa, why we in this poverty, that the mineral wealth in Africa should be funding us wherever we are on this planet. If we want business, if we don't want to live in Africa, that's okay. Long as we recognize that that's our holy land, that's our motherland, and we will go to the aid of Africa when needed, that's okay if you move out into the other parts of the world. But the mineral wealth of Africa belongs to us, and Africa should be funding African people. And the man that's wearing that fez in Africa right now is sucking the mineral wealth out of Africa, sending it to Arabia, India,
so
Europe.
What do you do?
Indeed it is true. Indeed it is
what do you
true.
Do?
I can tell you what you do. What? This is what I would do. If I'm claiming to be a Moor, and this is my natural headdress. Hold up, brother. And this is my natural headdress. Those invading bastards, I will go over there and make them take that damn hat off their head.
You keep talking about there. What
because
about here?
They are propagating the fraud.
We cannot fix that problem here. We trying to fight.
They want to keep us trapped in America, man.
All right, so
they want to keep us trapped in America.
Brother, I can get you a plane ticket there if you want to go.
Man, I've been going back and forth, man. I got the ability to do that. I don't even want to go there. Let's keep it real.
All right, now before you go, bro, because I'm going to head on to that question there.
This book also talk about how the Moors kept up with Mother Egypt.
All right. Excuse me, brother Sabir.
I'm gonna crack that. That's my bomb.
All right. No.
I brought my last time.
All right, then.
All right, wait. Just to answer his last question.
No, brother. I'm gonna ask you the question that's gonna lead into that.
It's gonna be less than 1 minute.
Yeah.
Now, this is in Egypt. However, you can find the same schematic. It's not going to be the same exact thing, but you can find it in North America, Central America, South America, even in Australia, brother.
Yeah.
However, this is how we did it in Egypt, though. If you go to Mayans or the Olmecs, you're going to see different variations of the same story.
And I hear what you're saying, but what you're not doing is you're not being in chronological order, and that's what George G.M. Jackson, he said, yes, there were other lodges where the Africans went out in the other parts of the earth and established their teachings on all continents. But the mother lodge was in Kemet.
Okay, let's go.
And that they had to come to Kemet to get initiated as a priest.
Chronological order.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, chronological order.
Right.
Mu, Atlantis, Lemuria, ancient Nubia. Then when you follow the Nile, then all the knowledge came to a peak. Follow the Nile, that's how the pyramids and the knowledge went to.
Okay, now, Brother Moorish, Brooklyn Intelligence. Here's the question for you, brother. The Moors talk so much about law.
Okay.
Why is it that you never talk about the origin of law in government? For example, Nubia, Seti, and Ta-Nehisi is the oldest document government on the planet. And the 142 so-called negative confessions, because it wasn't the negative, you know, negative confessions of that black, beautiful goddess named Ma'at is the oldest system of law and government on the planet. Do you agree with that?
Okay,
I want you to hold this up right quick, brother.
Okay.
Just hold that up.
For the people.
Do you agree that the oldest law in government came out of ancient... Brother, let me finish. Brother, I want you to hold it up so I can zoom in on it. See, you put it down, brother. Oh,
that's my queen. I'll hold it.
All right, let me...
hold it.
Brother Seti, turn that around.
Let me know.
That's my queen.
All right, I want you to build on that sister right there, Sister Ma'at.
Can I?
Because you study law, so you should be able to know the origin of law. And isn't it important to teach our children and our babies where law come from? When we were sovereign? When the white man ain't had to give us sovereignty? When we ain't had to drop our titles to become a sovereign? Or beg or sign treaties? Was we already sovereign, brother? Answer that question.
I'm going to be right after him, brother.
Are you ready now?
Yes, sir.
Can I answer this, please, with no interruption?
And I want you to hold that up and break that down. What you got?
All right, I could break it
in your hand.
I'm a universal more. All right, now, once again, we have a residue that we can go to and find it. We've been here for a very long time. However, the beauty of Egypt is that we can go there to see these things. However, these examples of law and deity and personifications of laws is all over the planet. Now, before I break this down or even break this picture down, take the letter A, for example, right? The letter A is the shape of a pyramid. Now, there's a reason why there's America, Africa, Asia, Antarctica, Australia. All these continents start with the letter A for a reason, to show you that we, the pyramid builders, the ones of light, Moor, M-U-U-R, were global and was everywhere. So one of the places you can find this is in the east, in one of our great continents called Africa. Now to break down law and Ma'at. Ma'at, first of all, is dealing with the feminine. She holds the scale. The scale is balanced. If you come over here in the Western world or in Europe, the scale is unbalanced, because we know that these pale students that we for some reason taught, they have, this is a secret to make the scale be unbalanced, because one, they're trying to unbalance the woman and then you unbalance the nation. Now Ma'at holds the scale now because once again,
you can see the scale right there on the picture too.
Right, this represents the balance. So here you have the feather and you have the heart or the ab. This right here doesn't really mean your central heart or your organ in your body. It's talking about your core, your soul, or your mind. That's what's really being weighed. Now here you have what? The jury. And here you have the progression that you have to go through on the square or on the courtroom. Now, our law, Moorish law, we say everybody's Moors, but some people don't know that. So Africans, original people, melanated people, our laws come from the nature. That's where Medu Neter, Mother Nature, Ma'at Neter. But our laws come from the cosmos, the universe, and the nature. So what we did was now we made these laws that govern everything, and we now replicate that in society and government. It's ancient. It's not modern, it's ancient. If you open up a black law dictionary, it will say law and jurisprudence that is ancient and modern. The Romans are not ancient.
You keep referring to people to the black law dictionaries.
Let me see. Okay, go ahead.
Wasn't it a white man by the name of Black who wrote the black law dictionary?
I'm not disputing that.
His name is what?
We're not disputing that, brother.
But it's a white man.
Hold on. Let me clear this
up. And if it's a white man, it's his law.
What did I say?
You're following his law.
What did I say before that?
Listening to what
did I say before that, Seti?
But you're following his law.
That's Sarnetta.
I mean, sorry.
No, you been calling him Seti for long.
I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that, y'all. Sarnetta, what are we saying? Listen to what I'm saying. These pale Europeans, okay, these Europeans, these Albanons, these troglodyte niggas, these cave dwellers, these amalgamated people.